Okay, first of all, I want to say hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Michael Snow Bespoke Live. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to chime in, check in. So let's do a pause for a few seconds here. Let everybody come online. It's now 3 o'clock, and as usual, I don't want to occupy too much of your precious time. I want to get on here and provide you with some important information, get off, and allow you to enjoy your great days. Please remember, as you check in, let me know where you're checking in from, city, state, country. All of that would be greatly appreciated. Tremendously, it would be greatly appreciated if I could find out exactly where you are checking in from. And today's topic for those who haven't been unable to read the post up top there, today's topic is I'm going to talk about selecting the appropriate shoes, or selecting the correct shoes for your attire. So, with that being said, we waited now for about I think that was about 30 seconds. We waited, and I'm going to be going through to today's topics. They're going to be coming straight out of my books. Dress Your Way to Success. It's going to come the same topic is going to come out of The Power of Your Look, and I'm also going to use this book, which is called The Importance of Your Look. So I'm going to make reference points to these books. You'll also be able to see this video live. It's live feed on my YouTube channel. So if you're not a member of my YouTube channel, please, I would advise you to check in and see exactly what we're doing here at Michael Snow Bespoke and Facebook Live. I got a few people checking in right now, so I want to make sure that I go ahead and accept these people that are trying to join. So bear with me for a second while I grant access to a few people here. And I promise you I won't take long on doing what I need to do. I promise you, it won't be long. But I want to, again, thank everybody for taking out the time of their busy day to join us today on Facebook Live. It's very important that we get this information out. If you are checking in now, please do me a favor. Go ahead and let me know where you're checking in from, and what questions you may have of me that you would like for me to address today. Make sure you post your questions in the text box there. That way we'll know exactly what's going on, and I'll be able to at least do my best to get to your questions. Okay, we are live. Thank you everybody for checking in. Today's topic is selecting. Hello, Travis. How are you? Travis Winters from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thank you for checking in, Travis. Travis Winters is also one of my consultants in that area. All right. So today I'm wearing a blue lycra and cotton blend dress shirt. I'm also I have a pair with an orange, a subtle orange double-breasted blazer with gold buttons, and came back with another one of my pocket squares, and I have on a pair of dark blue, light blue, and I think it's a little bit of gray, a little bit of gray pattern trousers. So as we transition into from different topics throughout the time I've been doing Facebook Live, I've always tried to and leave you with some information that could better enhance what it is that you're doing, your look, your feel, to make sure that, hey, Big Al, thanks for checking in. Michelle, Carrington Carter, thanks for checking in, Noop. Also, Otto, thank you for checking in. And Terry Pugh, thank you. Michelle Carter, I appreciate you checking in. All right, but today's topic is talking about shoes. All right, what I want to talk, I'm not going to go too much into the structure of a shoe on this particular topic. I want to concentrate more on how to select the appropriate shoe for what it is that you are wearing. That meaning like your blue shoe. If you're wearing a blue suit, what color shoes you should wear with a blue suit. Those are the topics that I would like to touch on today. Was just talking about the appropriate shoes. So And the first book I'm going to go to is going to be page 53. If you have these books as a reference point, this is the book I'm going to go to first. Dress Your Way to Success, page 53 of this book. All right, in this book, it's going to talk about the pairs of black shoes. We'll talk about brown shoes. Talks about some tan shoes or some blood red shoes. So these are the type of shoes that the men, we typically have a set of shoes that we go to. Unlike some of the our females that wear shoes from all different color schemes. We tend to have we tend to stay within the same basic colors of shoes, but we will dress those particular shoes up with different styles, different patterns, so on and so forth, to give us the look that we're looking for. So typically a male would stay within that within those basic colors of blue, blacks, browns. Those are the basic colors we'll end up tending to stay with. We'll throw in some oxblood, we'll throw in some blues, we'll throw in some grays, and some other colors, white, when that season comes around. But for the most part, those are the three basic colors that we're talking about. So now, if you're wearing a black suit, my suggestion is if you're wearing a black suit, you probably want to stay with a dark color shoe, like a black shoe. If you're going to wear a charcoal color suit, my advice to you is to stay with another type of black shoe. Now, once you get into your navy suits, so we're going through the suits now. Your primary suits within your closet should be your blacks, your grays, and your blues. Your blacks, grays, and blues are your basic three suits that every man should have by the time he graduates from college. Those are the three basic suits that we should have in our closet. So those are the suits that I'm going to go with. I know I'm talking kind of fast because I'm kind of excited because I just left Benedict College doing a speech. And a couple of young men after my presentation there, they came afterwards and they was asking me questions about how to put things together, how to coordinate. So got kind of excited that the young man really wanted to hear what I had to say. So that's why I'm a little excited today. So now with your navies, you can go with navies, another pair of black shoes, or you can go with like a brown color shoe or darker brown shoe. When you go with your light blue suits, you want to go with you can still stay with a black shoe, or you can go with a lighter brown shoe. Now, when you go in with your grays, your light grays, you want to stick with a black shoe, or you can also, a little creative, you can also go with a light color brograin type shoe as well, a brograin or wingtip type shoe. So now, your brown shoes. So like I was saying, there's a couple of shoes that we pretty much stay, consistent within our wardrobe. So now with a black suit, like I said earlier, you're gonna wear, typically gonna wear. You do not want to pair a black suit with a pair of brown shoes or a pair of burgundy shoes. These are some of your do nots. So if you're wearing a black suit, you would not want to pair that suit with a pair of brown or burgundy shoes. Now, if you're wearing a brown suit, like I specified earlier, you can come back now with a pair of brown shoes or red or burgundy shoes. But if you're wearing a brown suit, you do not want to pair that suit with a pair of black shoes. So black and brown, those two colors won't go together when it comes to pairing it with that particular color suit. Now, with your navy blue suit, now there you want to pair that suit with a pair of black shoes, a pair of brown shoes, a pair of red shoes, or a pair of burgundy shoes. Now, that's the navy blue suit. I don't have a do not because of the color navy. There really isn't a shoe that you really can't wear. Unless you really get out there far in left field. So I don't have a do not for that particular color suit. Now with your charcoal gray suit, you can pair that with a pair of black shoes or burgundy shoes. And a do not shoe for that charcoal gray suit was a pair of brown shoes. So you don't want to go with a charcoal gray and a brown shoe, forgive me. With your medium gray and light gray suits, you want to pair those with a black, brown, red, or burgundy shoe. Now, talk about pairing it with different suits. Hopefully you had enough time to jot those down. If you do not have it, you didn't take time to jot those down, please, you can go to my book, this book, Dress Your Way to Success. It's going to be on page 53, and it'll get you to the point where we were earlier. Now, let's talk about the type of shoes quickly. I'm going to go through the type of shoes very quickly for everybody here, so we all have some type of knowledge base to draw from when we're looking at the type of shoes. So for men, we normally wear an Oxford shoe. We wear a derby shoe, which is a derby shoe to me. If any gentleman here on Facebook Live has ever been in the military and they had these patent leather shoes, it had no design on it whatsoever, just a straight shoe. Not that patent leather, but the how the shoe is made, that is called a derby type of shoe. So that will help you. So there's no design on it at all. There's no brogaine. There's no wingtip on it. It's just a straight shoe, no cap toes, just a straight derby shoe. Then we go with the monk straps. In the monk straps, you can have a single, you can have a double, you can have a triple, you can have I've designed a cross monk strap shoe before. So those are the type of monk straps. And then you have your loafers. Your loafers, of course, you got your painted loafers. You got your loafers where you have your designs across the vamp of the shoe, or the instep of your feet. Those are the type of shoes we have. Now we can go to different types of boots. You have your dress boots, which you have there, and then you have your pumps, which are they mainly call them the opera pumps. Is what they call. But these are the shoes that you see a lot of gentlemen will wear when they're wearing like a tuxedo, and a lot of gentlemen nowadays are wearing these type of shoes when it comes to your younger generation with the no socks and the pants that are cut at the ankle. A lot of gentlemen are wearing those type of shoes. The Oxfords, the slip-ons, the opera pumps or the slip-ons. Those are the type of shoes that they're wearing. Now, another shoe that's extremely casual shoe that a lot of people are starting to make its way back into where we are now is called the moccasin or the driving shoe. So then we have our brogaines and we have our cap toe. So those are all those shoes are listed in this book, Dress Your Way to Success, which is available on my website or online on Amazon. Okay, now I'm going to shift gears, going right back to the same topic of shoes and what should not be worn. But this I'm going to talk about as far as type of comfort dress shoes. So now for comfortability, everybody knows that when you put on a pair of shoes, the last thing you want to do is to put on a pair of shoes that wrecks your feet. Okay. My female queens, they're notorious for putting on shoes that look good, and then after about an hour, they want nothing to do with those shoes. That's just I guess my wife would say they look good shoes, but when it comes to practicality, they're not a pair of shoes that they could wear for a long period of time, like those stiletto heels, so on and so forth. But I'm not here to talk about female shoes. I'm more here. I'm here to talk about shoes that are for us, that make us comfortable. So now there you're looking at your Oxford dress shoes. You're looking at your derbies again, or nice shoes, and then you're looking at your moccasins. Those are pretty much the three pair of shoes that are somewhat comfortable. And the reason why they're comfortable because the way that the toe is cut on those shoes, there isn't a lot of it doesn't confine the width of excuse me. It doesn't confine the width of your toe or the base of your foot that much, like some of your narrow cut shoes, your pointy toe shoes. Those really, at the period of time, they really could cause a lot of discomfort when you're wearing those type of shoes. So those are the type of shoes that I have come up with that are considered extremely comfortable for you to wear. Not really talking too much about when to wear those shoes, but the comfort of those shoes. So everybody knows that a nice pair of topsiders or a nice pair of moccasins, a nice pair of driving shoes in the summertime with a linen suit or a seersucker suit or a pair of jeans or even a pair of shorts is a very comfortable shoe. But the problem that I've discovered with those shoes is that they do not have any arch support in those shoes. So after a period of time of wearing the moccasins or the driving shoes or the topsiders, they're made for they're made for people with flat feet. So when I'm doing anything with shoes, what I always do, I always, I don't care if the shoes are made by me or I'm wearing a pair of shoes from another designer, I always put an insert in my shoe. I don't care what shoe it is I'm wearing. It could be a pair of tennis shoes. And my tennis shoes of choice are Chuck Taylors. If I'm gonna dress down, and you see me walking around, you're probably gonna 9 times out of 10 you're gonna see me wearing a pair of Converse. I'm just an old school Converse guy. I like the variety of colors. I like the variety of styles from Converse. They used to be very inexpensive, but now they're getting kind of pricey. But those are the type of shoes that I tend to go toward when it comes for me sitting down or going out somewhere looking for a particular casual shoe. The shoe that I wear, me personally, are Converse, Chuck Taylors. So now, comfortability. So back to my point, when you put on a pair of shoes, what you want to do, you want to make sure that the shoe that you're wearing is comfortable to your feet. And if you're going to be one of those, strong-headed men saying, I don't want to put an insert in my shoe, I can wear it just like it is, the company made it, that's your choice. I'm not here to debate your decisions. I'm here to advise and move on from that particular topic, because we all have our opinions of what we want to do and what we don't want to do. And I'm not here to steer you wrong from your opinion, because your opinion is your opinion. So now, with that being said, since we talked about shoes real quickly, I'm going to jump over to sample looks, sample looks of shoes and how to treat the shoe. So when you have a pair of shoes, the one thing you don't want to do with a pair of shoes, what I do is when I grab a pair of shoes, or when I design a pair of shoes, or I get a pair of shoes delivered to me from a company that wants me to try out their shoes because they want to pair with me, they want to partner with me, or whatever. What I typically do, the first thing I do with my shoe is I clean them. Yes. So I'll take some saddle soap, I'll take some leather conditioner, and I will invest the time, engine, and effort into breaking down the shoe, sealing the shoe, making sure that the shoe is properly cared for from the outside. So we talked a little bit about the inside. We talked a little bit about you talk a lot about what shoe to wear and what shoe not to wear. But one of the things we have to be cognizant of is when you, before you put that shoe on, it's packaged, it's shipped to you from wherever country has made it, or whoever's made the shoe, but it's not treated. It's when it's presented to you in a display type of look. So they'll have it all nice and shiny, but they really haven't treated the shoe. So what I'll do, I'll take some saddle soap and I'll clean the shoe off. Then I'll come back with some type of sealant, and then I'll come back and I'll polish the shoe to make sure when it walks out. And this also helps prolong the life of the shoe. So leather, all my shoes that I make are for the most part, unless it's the client wants something different, but all my shoes are made out of genuine leather, uppers and sole. So when you're treating, leather is a material that over a period of time, if you don't take care of it, it will start to crack. It will start to fade on you. It will start to chip on you. So by treating the shoe initially, what you're doing, you're trying to prevent some of those what ifs from happening. So that is why I'll use some type of seal, snow seal, or original beeswax, waterproofing. I'll use, I'm not, promoting any particular company, but of course I'll go with some type of polish, beeswax. I talked earlier about, you got Lennox, you got heat foot oil, all these different type of things out there. You do what's good for you, but I have a regimen that I normally use for my shoes when I'm doing them. So that's kind of like where I want to leave that. That information is also going to be located in the power of your look. That's everything that I just spoke of. The last 5 minutes came out of this book, The Power of Your Look, which is also another one of my great books that are available on my website, or you can get it directly from our Amazon. So one of the questions that the young men ask me, of course, college kids they don't have a lot of money. And a lot of us do know that unless they come from a wealthy family, you're normally going to college and you're going from, work study check to work study check, or you're going from whatever you got from that year, from that semester, you're trying to stretch that out, or you got a part-time job, or whatever. You have some savings for the summer. You're tapping into those things in order to keep you, sustain you throughout the college year. So this young man asked me, what's the difference between an expensive shoe and a cheap shoe? Okay, the first thing is going to be the quality of the material, that the shoes made out of. A lot of the inexpensive shoes are going to be made out of, plastic, man-made leather, or man-made material, or you'll see something like man-made upper, and or some type of man-made sole. So when you're doing that, and when you're looking at the shoe, how a inexpensive shoe is constructed. So taking to, I'm a numbers guy, so take in consideration if they're going to sell you a shoe for $40 or $50, $60, so you have to know that that shoe probably only cost them to manufacture about $10 or $20. So the shoe may look good for 1 or 2 wears, and then after a few wears, what's going to happen? Either the base of the shoe is going to separate from the sole. It's not going to wear properly. It's going to warp, or you're going to see some type of discoloration form because the dye they use in that man-made material is not sustained within the man-made material, because man-made material doesn't breathe. One of the things you're also going to see is that because that man-made material doesn't breathe, it traps in all of the smells from your feet that's now trapped in that shoe. So now what you have now you're using some type of foot powder to spray inside of the shoe to keep the smell of the shoe from, all of our feet sweat unless you're like a metahuman or something, you have no perspiration. So when your feet are sweating in your socks or whatever, if you're wearing no socks or no show socks, that man-made material traps in that moisture, and it starts to smell. So that's one of the, so that's quickly, I will talk about the inexpensive shoe. Then I want to go over to more of your expensive shoes. So now your expensive shoes, of course, are going to be made of, typically made of leather material. They're going to typically be, for the most part, you have companies now that are using a machine base to do a part of the shoe. Then they do using some man-made stuff to complete the other portion of the shoe. But for the most part, my shoes are handmade. Now I can't talk about the other clients out there because I don't want to get sued. But for me, my shoes are handmade. So when you look at the cost value, you're looking at material and your man hours in order to create that shoe. That's when you start. The price of the shoe goes from $40 to $300 to $500 to $1,000 to so on and so forth up the pricing chain. So that is the biggest difference between a $40 shoe, and his conversation was a $400 shoe, which is typical of a conversation for a college student, because they're living on a very small budget, and they're trying to make the best out of what they have, stretch as long as they have. So my advice to this young man was to take the time, buy a nice pair of quality shoes. He doesn't have to have 15, 20 different pairs of shoes, but buy a nice pair of quality shoes, somewhere in a price range of $175 to maybe $300 for a college student. So when we go out in the summer times, if he can put aside that amount of money to go buy a nice pair of quality made shoes, or at least a pair of black shoes and maybe a pair of brown shoes. Those shoes were pretty much based on my previous and my initial conversation. Those shoes can pretty much go with anything, any suit that you have in your closet. Those shoes can probably go with it. So that was that conversation, which I found that to be kind of funny. But yes, so now let's go with the different types of soles. So you have what we have. We may have a sole that has grooves in it, which allows a non-slip. You have your leather sole, you have your rubber sole, you have these different types of sole based on where you're living. Like my brother's here right now, he's visiting from Minnesota, he and his wife. So up in Minnesota, it snows a lot there. So they wear in Minnesota a lot of rubber-based shoes. And it's funny, we were talking about this the other day. They typically have a pair of shoes. So for the working men that dress similar to how I'm dressed today, they'll have their dress shoes at their job, but they'll travel from their home to their job in a pair of boots, some type of boots to get them through that element into their place of work. So that's kind of funny. So I would suggest based off of where you are, what you're doing, should determine the type of a sole you have on your shoe. But if when you're dealing with that that rubber type of sole, when you're adding a rubber sole to your shoe, once that rubber sole is worn off, the probability of you being able to re-sole that shoe is very slim. And so that's why I typically stick with a leather sole shoe, because once that the leather, it takes, unless you wear a shoe, that particular shoe every day, 365 days a week, and you wear it straight, for like 5 years, the probability of you wearing that sole off of a leather sole shoe is going to be slim. Even so, if that does happen, all you have to do is find a cobbler in your area, a shoe guy. They'll be able to cut the sole, cut the leather sole, apply another leather sole to the bottom of the shoe, where you have Goodwill felt around the edges or whatever. Fix the sole back to the shoe, and you're still going off and wearing the same pair of shoes. So now, characteristics of an expensive shoe. First, the most important thing that you can tell why expensive shoes are better is the comfort. So calf leather has a tendency to bend more. It conforms to your feet more. So when you put in calf leather, I'm saying calf like a calf, baby calf. You put in a calf leather shoe, that shoe has a tendency to form to your foot better than an older cow, which we get our leather products from. It's from calves and cows. That it tends to form better. Of course, you can get leather from other sources, but right now, in particular, I'm talking about the calf or the cow. So the harder the shoe doesn't always mean that the better the leather. Usually, a shoe that's made, and if you try the shoe on and it conforms to your foot, and you see that the break-in point is much easier, it's going to cause less discomfort to your foot. So if you have a very rigid shoe that does not want to move, is just hard leather, hard sole, that shoe is going to take a little bit longer for you to break in, possibly causing you some discomfort over a period of time when it comes to your wearing that shoe. So those are one of the characteristics that that I talked about. Now you got that we talked a little bit earlier about the cheap leather, the fox leather. We can go on and on about all these different types of leathers, but I've talked right now for about 26 minutes. So now what I want to do, I want to power down from shooting out all the information to you. Hopefully it's been received appropriately. And I'm sorry because like I said, I was talking to a group of young men at Benedict College doing a speech I had for them, and I took from them the questions that they asked me, and I referenced it back to the books, and a lot of it was about what shoe to wear with what suit, which we went over, the different types of shoes. Briefly, we went over that. I'll have another conversation about that at a later time, and then we started talking about the inexpensive shoe versus the expensive shoe. So now I'm going to go look at a few questions I have here. Can I stay for a few minutes? Thanks. Yeah. All right. Travis asks, can you talk more about shoe repairs? Thanks. All right, shoe repairs. Like I said a little bit earlier, when you buy an inexpensive shoe, it's going to be harder for the cobbler to repair an inexpensive shoe than a quality made shoe that you purchase. That being because when you have an inexpensive shoe that comes from company X, whatever that company is, when you have that inexpensive shoe, they're usually made out of inexpensive material. Now, when you go into a cobbler to have a shoe repaired, a cobbler is a shoe repair guy. So shoe repair guy, cobbler, they're not going to have that cheap fabric or the cheap material to make the repairs. So the probability of you repairing an inexpensive shoe versus being able to repair an expensive shoe has diminished greatly based on which shoe you select. That's why initially I said every man should go out. I talked about the young college kid, but I was also speaking in reference to my gentlemen out here that are working world. Our feet are important to us. If you're standing, most of us, if you have the apps on your Apple Watch, whatever watch you're using, most of us are standing anywhere from 6 to 10 hours a day, average. My brother, he tracks, his goal is to stand at least 12 hours a day. It's kind of crazy, but that's his goal. But once you're standing there for that long period of time, the shoe is important to you. So if you do not take the time, because you only get, they have these man-made feet now, but you only have God only granted us 2 feet. So if you don't take care of your feet by putting them into the best condition that you possibly can, which is some quality made shoes, doing some research on your shoe, using the inserts of the shoe, so the selection of the fabric, making sure you're not buying a lot of man-made material in your shoe, constricting your shoe, causing your feet to athletic feet, the fungus, the foot smell, all that stuff. But the key with all this is if you stay away from all that and you still stick with some quality made shoes, my recommendation to everybody is to go get a pedicure at least once a month. If you can't do it once a month, maybe once every other month. Because if you're taking care of your feet will typically take care of you. So I know Mr. Winters asked about the repairs. The repairs are going to be difficult for, to summarize, the repairs for a man-made material shoe is going to be greatly diminished over a quality handcrafted shoe made out of 100% fabric, like leather, as an example. So that's that. So is there another question? I would like for you guys who've all checked in, if you could let me know where you're coming from. Thank you for checking in, Nicole Jones and Bishop Kazi. Please let me know. No, Bishop Kazi, perfect example. Bishop Kazi purchased a pair of shoes from me. And I want to bet you right now, I think I asked him about it. He said the shoes are wearing well. He purchased a shoe from me, I want to say, was it 2 or 3 years ago, Johnny? I don't remember exactly how long ago, but it was quite some time ago you purchased those shoes, but they're still wearing well. So, yes, my shoes are in particular are a little more expensive than what you'll walk into a box store. But what I give you, an example, you walk into your traditional box store, you get what they have. What I'm presenting to you is the ability for you to create something that you want, not accept what I have. So if you want to change the vamp, you want to change the base, you want to change the sole, you want a red bottom, you want a green bottom, you want a gray bottom, you want good well felt, anything that you want on the shoe is customized to what you want. So therefore, you're not walking around with a shoe, a shoe clone like everybody else. You walk into a store, these are all the shoes you have. Take these, take them. That's all I have. But with us, what we give you is a variety. Okay? So, are there any more questions? Please remember, do me a big favor. Please like, share, comment. Share. If you care, I appreciate if you share. And I'm gonna look around and see if any more questions. Okay, Booker J. Long. I thank you for the information. You're welcome, sir. Reggie Campbell. Thank you. Thank you as well, Reggie, for checking in. So, any other questions? Any other comments? Any other complaints? Remember, if you have a question on Sundays, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time Zone, I will be here to answer your questions. But the majority of your questions probably could be answered in one of these 3 books. If you take the time to go to Amazon, look for one of these 3 books. I've done extensive research on finding, going out and trying to find the exact answer to your questions through research. And of course, a lot of lessons learned by myself. All right. With that being said, it's been 30 minutes, and I want to appreciate everybody for checking in with Michael Snell Bespoke on the Michael Snell Bespoke Live here on Facebook. We will be gravitating over to my podcast here soon. My next outing will be in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll be there from the 23rd to the 24th. And then I go to Jacksonville for a high school friend of mine, Mr. Darius Davis. He has a wine event in Jacksonville, so I'll be there. So if you're looking to do a meet and greet and you live in the Atlanta area, please let me know. We can probably set up something. Have a glass of wine or break some bread or something of that nature. And, we can finally get a chance to meet because I know I have a lot of people that have been following me for years, but I haven't met a lot of you. It'd be great to be able to sit down and meet, you directly, face to face one time. All right. Well, I'm not going to ramble. I want to appreciate you guys. Have a great Sunday. And always, thank you for joining Michael Snell Bespoke. And please share my videos. Thank you. Goodbye.